On a quiet night in Kansas City, a knock on the wrong door nearly turned fatal. This is the story of Ralph Yarl, a 16-year-old black kid who was simply trying to pick up his younger brothers to go to a Bible study, and Andrew Lester, the 84-year-old man who was white and pulled the trigger. I am Santiago, and this is Strawberry Ink. Now, as I said, the story takes place in Kansas City. It is a real story. And we know Kansas City is in Missouri. At least most of us know. Most of us know what Missouri is, what West Virginia is, and what Ohio is. There are some beautiful landscapes, hills, places like that just share their natural beauty or their human made beauty. But there are also stupid people. Coming from Ohio, I can tell you, it is a KKK state. Not every white person is bad. But for example, certain institutions are KKK run, such as Ohio's main university, OSU. And the white supremacy is big in these states. The homophobia, transphobia, racism is so big. And a white person in these kinds of states, they have such a hard time watching their language. Mainly the white trash. As Mike Ness from Social Distortion said, white is not superior. And over the years, I've been shocked about how stupid a person could be. The stupidest people I know are white, as well as the most dirty doing people. Therefore, let's get right into the story. Be ready to get triggered. Ralph Yarl was shot after he mistakenly went to the wrong house. He had been sent to pick up his siblings, but accidentally rang the doorbell of 84-year-old Andrew Lester. What happened next shocked the country. Ralph was shot twice, once in the head. Miraculously, he survived. He was treated at North Kansas City Hospital in their emergency room and released the following month. The nation breathed a collective sigh of relief, but the fight for justice had just begun. Andrew Lester turned himself into the Clay County Detention Center. By then, prosecutor Zachary Thompson had already filed 2 charges against him: first-degree assault and armed criminal action. Before Lester surrendered, his attorney, Stephen Salmon, whom he had privately hired, coordinated with prosecutor Thompson to arrange bond. It worked. Lester was released from jail within hours after posting a $200,000 bond. He even got financial aid. Lester's arraignment was held in the Clay County Circuit Court. He appeared before Judge David Chamberlain and pleaded not guilty to both charges. The courtroom was tense. Outside, protests swelled, but inside, Lester stood firm in his denial. Time passed and legal negotiations began to unfold behind the scenes. Eventually, Lester agreed to a plea deal. He changed his plea from not guilty to guilty. This was in order to have a shorter sentence. The original charges were dropped in favor of a lesser charge, 4th-degree felonious assault. Judge Chamberlain was set to sentence Lester soon after, but that sentencing never happened. Before the court could finalize the case, Andrew Lester died. He passed away of natural causes, his old age finally catching up to him. At the time of his death, Lester was not in custody. The case was effectively over. Prosecutor Thompson met once again with Judge Chamberlain. The case was formally dismissed. On March 6, 2025, a visitation was held at the Kansas City Funeral Home on Shawnee Drive. The next day, a celebration of life was held for the man who had once stood at the center of a national firestorm and who had eventually ended up in a coroner's office after being found dead by his family before he was sentenced while he was awaiting sentencing. He was cremated soon after. The story of Andrew Lester and Ralph Yarl reminds us of how fragile justice can be, how quickly the narrative can shift. A black kid survived, an elderly man died awaiting judgment, and the legal system, once again, left a community with more questions than closure. You've been listening to Strawberry Ink. I'm Santiago. Stay curious, stay critical, and stay safe. And please support me in my journey of growing my shows. Have a good rest of your day.